About 10 years before I started this, I was actually working long hours and wasn't spending much time with my family. And my wife at one point asked me, my son was about 10 years old, and she's like, well, why don't you spend some time with Sean doing something? And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, well, why don't you play Legos? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I built a little tank with him, and then I built an airplane, and he was building various things. And after that, I just started thinking, well, what else could I do? And I was one day driving by the Pickwick Theater, and I looked at the proportions of windows and the structure itself, and I'm like, geez, that could be done in Legos. And so after that project, I wound up thinking about building a Choo Choo, and I started, and I remember thinking, geez, how do you build the Choo Choo? And I wanted to build the interior, not just the outside. And I realized if I built a booth, if I could figure out how to build a booth, that would dictate the entire size and scale of the piece. Yeah, I really went overboard. Each sign, I made sure that the hours were on the door and that just as they are from the actual restaurant. It was a bit of a slow process, and it was fun too, and it was really neat. And this was such an inspirational building because my kids grew up going back to the Choo Choo and taking them in there. And the funniest thing about this whole project was when I was about to upload pictures on Facebook, I took my picture and I clicked on it, and I don't know what I clicked on, but somehow Google saw my picture and then took me right to the restaurant's website. And I'm like, holy cow, I think I did the thing right. I realized at that point, I really nailed this thing, because yeah, it recognized my picture as a Choo Choo, and then it took me to the real deal. And I'm like, well, I guess I can't do any more to this thing anymore.